one way. It's Ruben. So yeah, this took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do for my devotional, and I was thinking about a few topics, and I was like bouncing all through my head and stuff like that. And I finally settled on community. And the reason why I settled on community is because I think it's a very critical aspect of Christianity, which I feel like often people are not like they're not focusing about it, they're not like thinking about it as much as they should be, because it should be one of the elements of Christianity, and it should be something that's driving you, pushing you um, through your day. So I'm going to talk about a few passages, and then a little bit of COVID and like how that's affecting community, and then also my own take. Uh, so let's just get into it. So the first, I'll talk about a verse. This is a very, very, very famous verse, and I feel like a lot of people have heard this or have, yeah, have heard this. That's a good way to say that. So Matthew chapter 18, verses 20. For where two or three gather in my name, there I am with them. So it's a very simple, very short verse, but it has a lot of weight and has a lot of meaning. And if you kind of just read it like and you're going through Matthew, um, you may just be like, this is not really that important. Like I already knew, like when you're with people, um, you're in the presence of God and stuff like that. But it has a lot more meaning than just like when you go to church, God is there. Um, I think there's an emphasis on the numbers. So two or three. Just imagine if the passage was changed to one. It would have a lot of different meaning in it. So where one gathers in my name, there I am with them. So like I think this is trying to emphasize that we need a church, we need a community, we need something to help us, push us in the right direction. Um, I think often we forget about that. So that's just one of the things I kind of just wanted to remind you of. And then another concept about it is that you don't need a lot of people. And I think I'm also very guilty about this. And I'll just talk from my own experience. So when we had small groups, sometimes only one other person could come, and I would often think to myself, "Oh, we should just cancel." But then this verse kind of reminded me was like it's very critical and very important that even if just one person can come, you still meet and you still share the word of God and you still rejoice in his name and you still build the bonds and you still talk, even if it's just one person or two people can come, including yourself. And it just has so much meaning. Yeah. So that was the first verse. And then the second verse I wanted to talk about was Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 to 25. Okay, so the verse is, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. So it's like when you first read it, I think the first thing that comes into your mind is the importance of community, how we push each other. So let's just kind of dissect this a little bit. Um, Obviously, we need to push each other towards good things, the love of God. We need to show people and our friends, our family, the love of God. We need to treat them correctly. We need to be um, pushing them towards being godlike, because when we push other people towards being godlike, we also will also become more godlike and get closer to our own salvation. It's part of the process. It's community is a critical part of the process, because often you reflect, you see things in other people that are in your own life, and you realize your own sin, you correct things. It's very much like that's a part of being a Christian. And then another aspect of this, and going to like the second part, I believe this is 25, but encouraging one another. So encouraging one another. when when we're in our Christian community, and we need to remember that we have to be kind and encouraging, not aggressive, caustic, mean. We shouldn't just tell someone is wrong so that we can be like, hey, look what you're doing. We have to have a good intention. We want to have the best for that person. We want them to become closer to God, because that way we all will become closer to God. And it's a critical thing. Um, and then another part of this line is not giving up meeting together. And when I reread this verse, that verse kind of just like sung into my head, because often, like, with COVID going on and stuff like that, where we're all social distancing, and now we're having to watch online church and live streams and small group. It doesn't really feel the same, especially to me. But I think it's critical that I and everybody takes the effort to still try to go to church, still try to get the word, still try to communicate with their friends, family, church mates, everyone like you would normally do, and meet together, because those connections are really important towards our Christianity and our development, our growth, and we can't do it alone. So, kind of just to wrap up, I think even despite what's going on, I think video calling your friends and family, talking to your church mates about like the things that you're going through, and maybe they'll relate, and having connections like that, and attending your online church service, or watching a YouTube video, or finding online church service if, let's say, your church isn't doing online services, um, and still getting that word is really critical. And so I hope that everybody's doing that in this time. And then another thing about just that encouragement aspect of community. I think it would be really good if you go right now and just send like an encouraging text message to a friend. And this friend doesn't have to be Christian or anything like that, but I think if you just send something encouraging, like just saying something positive to them, that may have a really strong impact in their day. So if you could just take like 30 seconds and do that, that'd be great. So thank you, One Way. That's all I really wanted to say. Thank you for listening to me. Have a good day, guys.